So today we are going to talk about the snare drum and what we've done to get the sound for that. I want to touch on a couple of different snare drums, one from this session and one from another session called Diable. So let's get right onto it, and I'll just go through step-to-step things about what I've done. Okay, so what we've got here is the same kind of area where we had the where we did the kick drum video. What we're going to look at, somebody's not got my scrubber tool on. What we're going to look at is this part of the track, and let's have a listen to it. Let's see what it sounds like. So it sounds quite solid, a good sounding snare drum, and it's coming through quite well. So let's find out how we got that. Let's take off all the solos and just solo off the snare drum and take off all of these. So, as you can see, I've got two snare drums here. One is for one track, for one snare, because we had two snare drums in the session. We had the main snare and a side snare. The main snare was a Mapex Black Panther blaster and a Joey Jordison signature snare drum. And then the side snare was a 10-inch Gretsch Ash snare drum, which it's up on the top of that shelving unit there. So let's start off with the main snare drum and show you how I got the sounds for that. Just remove all these. Okay, so this is the dry sound that we got. So you can see it's not too bad. It got a bit of crack to it, and but it's not solid what we need. So let's go into the equalizer first of all. So one tip that I picked up a wee while ago is when creating a big fat sounding snare drum is the position of one of the EQs on the channel, and that would be where we have number 2 here. So it's kind of low mid frequency. It's just to get that fatness kind of coming through. And so here we have the at 187 hertz. We've got it boosted. So let's deactivate the other ones and let's just kind of focus on this. I'm just going to turn this up so you can hear it quite well. But let's just focus on number 2 here. So that's the original sounding snare drum. This is it with that particular EQ in. There you go. Really hear the difference in it. It makes it fatter and it brings out the crack a lot more. But as well as that, we brought in just a high pass filter to kind of get rid of the unwanted sounds, obviously, and then boosted the high end, the high mids and the highs, just to kind of get the warmth of it through, and so it sounds good. Sounds like a snare drum, which is obviously what we want. We don't want anything else. Then we go into the gate. It's obviously not too bad. Kicks, you can hear the kick coming through. It's not too bad, but there you go. Just obviously simple. Then another tip that I picked up was putting on some distortion. So what I've got is the tone here is high. It's quite to kind of get the high frequency, but I've cut off the ultra high frequencies basically where we don't want it, and I've driven it a fair bit. So let's bring this in. Ooh. You really hear it. It's made a huge difference. Made a huge difference in that. So we got that going for us, which is nice. Let's bring it down, and let's bring in the compressor. Again, it's the CLA 2.8 compressor. Let's just bring that in. So you can see the amount of compression already when it's not brought in. Let's bring it in. So it's not too bad, sounding quite solid, quite a good sound. You got a good amount of compression on there. Now there's one thing that I want to add in that I haven't yet, and it's one of the it's one of Wave's one knob series plugins, and it's called Fatter. So what it basically is, it's a kind of compression. All you're doing is it's got the same kind of gain reduction, same kind of, you're reducing the threshold essentially of it. So let's bring this in so you can see signal coming in. You see it's starting to sound solid. Sounds good about there. Let's have a listen to the difference. Turn it up a bit. It kind of tightens up that low end to make it more fat, a bit fatter, as this suggests. So yeah, we'll keep that in. So you can see I've set the levels there, but it just doesn't have the power to come through. So I've got these two channels, this channel here, again, same with the kick drum, the slammer track. And so we've got, let's take them out. So we've got here, on both channels, let's get back to the original snare. We can find a bit, yeah. It was this bit. So let's bring in the so it's solid the snares one, and I've unbypassed the send here for the slammer track, and again compression on it. So it's coming in. I've got the slammer solid as well. See the amount of compression that's going on. Now let's bring that in. Really helping it punch. And brings it to life. Let's hear it with the rest of the track. See, it's not coming through there. See, it's not too bad. It works quite well. And then again, we've got some reverb here to help it come across as well. My favourite reverb. It's kind of got a long tail on it. It's a good sounding reverb. It's helping it come through. Which is good. Now, you can see here, I've gone proper 80s. We've got the some gated reverb here, which is just on. It's automated on a certain part of the track. There we are. So it's automated here. So the way that I've done this is, let's just have a listen without the gated reverb in there and how it sounds. Sounds alright, but I mean, I've got a demo track lined up here, so let's unmute that and kind of see what it sounds like with that track. You see, it's not coming through the way that I'd like it. The way that the band are doing it is like when you're at a gig and it's like proper going for it, but it's not coming through, and it wasn't coming through on the recording there. So I added some gated reverb. So what I've done is, obviously, I've got the reverb here, which is everything pushed up as far as it can go. Let's take out the gate. So it works the same way as the kick sub, sidechained into it. Let's have a listen to it without the gate. It's tailing off, long tail off, but it's not got to give in the power. However, when you bring in the gate, let's listen to that. Now let's bring it in with the rest of the track, but let's get rid of the demo version. You see, it really helps. Let's bring it in with the track and see what it sounds like there. So let's have a listen to that whole section and see what that's. And see, there you go. It gives it that power from that kind of breakdown, and well, not the breakdown, sorry, the middle eight there, and it kind of really helps it bring it out. So I'm now going to go on to another track, from another band, and just show you how the difference in this how it changed the snare drum sound for that, because it didn't like the original sound of it. No sample used again, but I'll show you what we go on. Right. So here we have a track from a band called Diable. This is called Annihilation Cycle. So let's have a look at the snare drum and see what we did for it. So as you can see, I've got top snare drum and a bottom. Got it from the top and got it from the bottom. Now, as I said, I didn't like the original sound of the snare drum. Now let me show you what that original sound was. You see what I mean? So it's very... high pitch, not much crack to anything like that, not much fatness to anything like that. It's just weedy sounding, really. So EQ wise, cut low end, but really did boost the high end on it. Sorry, the more the low mids on it. Kind of enhance it as much as I could. And then I put an enhancer on it. But with this, I kind of brought the low end up, not much the high end. Just to kind of bring that in. Then I had an idea to get some saturation on it. See what it sounded like with that. So it's got an audio effects preamp kind of saturation on it. So, and it's a tube amplifier. It's a really nice sound. I got it for 67p. 67p that was. It was brilliant. Off Plugin Boutique. It's brilliant. I love it. I put it on nearly everything now. Listen. That's it without. Ooh. See the difference that it makes? That really kind of brings out the low end more, which is great, which is what I wanted. Then I got that one knob series fatter again. Kind of this, again, helped it out. Let's listen. That helped there as well. And then the compressor. So that's what I did on the top snare drum. Now, I realised most of the fatness from it was coming from the bottom. Even though, obviously, that's where the snare wires are, most of it was coming from the bottom. As you can see, I've cut away a lot of the low end, and here I brought in, what is it, 275 hertz. I brought in some thing in here. I've cut like the extreme highs as well to take that off. Enhancer again. Refresh the bass on this so we could get fatness in that. See the difference that makes. And then again, the fatter, the one knob series fatter. And then Melder Production compressor in here as well. And that really brings out as well, which is great. So let's have a listen then with it together. The automation side of that sounded a bit, volume wise, too much of the high end is coming through. So let's bring it down. Take the whole thing out. Not too shabby. Let's bring in the drum mix. Take the EQs off. See what I mean? Sounds much better, sounds more professional, sounds nicer, which is good. So, that's me signing off then. That's what I did with the snare drums. This video is a bit longer than I thought it was, so I might have to cut it down a bit. But that's what I did with the snare drums on for this track. For this track and the other one that I showed you. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give the video a like, and come back for the next one, which will be looking at the toms. Thanks a lot.